Hey Libra, I'm Lynnie with Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and I am here with a love reading. This is just going to be a general message, so whatever I see is what I will read. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become an official sunflower. And to all of my returning sunflowers, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you, and I'm honored for another opportunity to read for you. I hope that this message resonates, and I hope that it gives you the comfort, the confirmation, the clarity, whatever it is that you are seeking at this time. We start today's reading with the Ten of Swords and the Queen of Swords. I'm feeling a very specific message for this reading today, and I feel like it's going to involve a feminine energy who is navigating through a really difficult space internally, and it's having external consequences. What I mean by that is there's a specific way in which you see yourself as a feminine, specifically as a woman in a woman's body. This is going to be a very specific reading today. And there are things that are not happening or not coming to pass that make you feel as if you are not a true woman or a real woman. Specifically, when it comes to pregnancy, childbirth, and things like that. I feel like I'm connecting to the energy of a woman who has been having a really difficult time either getting pregnant or carrying a pregnancy to term. This is what is creating an emotional disconnect between you and your family or you and your spouse. I'm not sure if you already have other children or if there are already other children involved in this relationship, but I feel like you maybe recently suffered a miscarriage or recently went through a round of something or tried to get pregnant and it didn't happen. Maybe you got your period when you were feeling really hopeful that maybe you conceived that time. And I feel like this is a cycle that just keeps repeating. This isn't the first time that this has happened. This isn't the first time you've been disappointed in this way. This is also not the first time you felt like you've had to deal with this on your own. Honestly, Libra, I would say that you're probably the kind of person who puts on a smile for everybody. How you doing? I'm great. Everything is great. Everything is wonderful. Even for the people who actually know what you might be going through, they might come to you and they might ask, how are you feeling? How's the journey going? Is there any progress? And you go, we haven't got what we wanted yet, but we're just trying to stay positive and we're just, keeping our faith and trying to stay hopeful. But really on the inside, you are like a churning sea of deep, dark emotion. You're having a hard time expressing this to the people that are closest to you, which is creating this kind of unintentional isolation. It's like this emotional isolation. I see you being somebody who's very attractive. I see you being somebody who has a very kind and generous spirit. I see people, if they speak about you, they have very kind things to say about you. I think you're very careful, especially being a Libra or having Libra placements. I think you're very careful with the way that you are perceived by other people. There's this curated version of you that exists for everybody else out there, and then there's the real you that's reserved either just for you or for the people that are closest to you. I feel that you are used to being perceived in a certain way. Perfection comes to mind, the word perfect, wanting to seem perfect or look perfect or wanting people to believe that you have this perfect life, trying to project this image of perfection and balance and all good things and all positivity and hope and happiness, which is beautiful, which is a beautiful way to put your image out there, and it's impactful. But there's a part of you that is not being acknowledged or not being expressed or not being given the opportunity to show up however it wants to show up. It's okay for you to be going through something as emotionally draining as attempting to conceive, attempting to carry a child to term, and it just not happening. And even more than it not happening, you are enduring physical pain, emotional pain, mental strain. There's all of these things that are happening as a result of this particular part of your journey into trying to become a mother or have another child. It is creating all of this pressure on you. It's putting all of this pressure on what it means to be a real woman, or the concept of that in your mind. It's there's something about being defective or having a defect. I want you to understand that your value as a woman is not determined by whether or not you can conceive or carry a child to term. Your value as a woman is not tied to your ability or your inability to reproduce. Your value as a woman is intrinsic, and it was there from the day that you were born up until now. There's nothing that you could do or not do that would make you more or less of a woman. You just are. You're a beautiful woman. You're a kind woman. You're a loving woman. You're an intelligent woman. You have so much to offer this world. And I know that it's painful and it's difficult and it's hard to hear. But if this is not a part of your journey or your story right now, if bringing a child into the world is not happening for you right now, that's not to say that it would never happen. That's not to say that you can't. I would strongly encourage you, if you haven't already, to seek some sort of medical advice. But I would also caution you against listening to anyone who tells you something is not possible if it's something that you truly want or truly desire. There may be physical things happening within your body that are preventing this from happening. Something that is coming to mind right now is when women who are trying desperately, trying everything to conceive a child or carry a child to term, they're putting all of this stress on themselves and on their bodies. And then as soon as they make peace with the idea that it may not happen, that it may not go the way that they want it to go, that they have no control over this, because realistically you don't, then their body gets back into a state of not feeling like so much pressure, so much stress, and things happen, right? That's typically when women who have been having lots of difficulty conceiving conceive, is when they're not stressed, when they're not focused only on this, when they're not worried solely about this. You might feel like this is a black mark on your record, or as if people are going to make fun of you or have negative things to say about you behind your back as a result of this. What kind of woman are you if you can't have children? What kind of wife are you if you can't give your husband a baby? What kind of, and all of that stuff is rooted in antiquated thought. It's rooted in obsolete programming that we as women do not need anymore. There are other ways in which you can continue being who you are and showing up in this world and having connections and making connections and relationships with children, whether they're yours or not yours, that is just as impactful as being a mother. Raising a child or carrying a child to term doesn't make you less of a woman. And if motherhood is the journey that you feel very strongly that you should be going on, maybe it's not biological. Maybe it's not something that you're going to do on your own with your own genes or your own physical body. Maybe it's the story or the journey of adoption. Maybe you'll learn more about the fostering process. Maybe there are other ways in which you can achieve your goal without feeling as though you're compromising your womanhood. Okay. There are many alternatives out there. There are children out there right now in foster homes and in care homes that need permanent places to live, that need permanent families who are going to love them and care for them and give them everything that they have and be responsible for them as if they came from their body. And I think that that might be one way in which you can apply your compassion, your grace, your love, and all of these wonderful things about you. Maybe this isn't the story of how a woman couldn't get pregnant. Maybe this is the story about your journey to alternative motherhood. And it is, and I struggled even with the idea of it being alternative motherhood, because parenthood and motherhood, it is just what it is. If you are showing up as a mother to somebody, you are a mother. Don't ever let anyone or any situation or any circumstance have you questioning your value or questioning your womanhood or questioning your sense of self or your sense of identity. I know that it's not working for you right now, and I understand that it's incredibly painful, but there are other avenues that are opening up, okay, that it would be important for you to focus on. I know that it's difficult right now, but I want you to see the ways in which you being on this journey has helped you transform, and I don't want you to become bitter or jaded as a result of being disappointed. The reason why this is still a love and romance reading is because somehow this is having some sort of effect on your romantic relationship. You also might feel like your partner will secretly resent you for not being able to do this or not being able to conceive children and things like that. You might also feel like, what if they leave me for somebody who can? This is not your spouse is not Henry VIII. I believe that's who it was. He's not going to just throw you to the wolves, cut off your head, cast you aside simply because you aren't producing. You're not a machine. Okay? You're not a machine. The whole point of your life is not production, right? I want to clarify this Nine of Swords for Libra, please. We have the Ten of Cups and the Star. I think you spend a lot of time wondering, am I going to get what I want? Can my dreams become reality? Am I ever going to have the happy family that I saw for myself or envisioned for myself? Sometimes we often have dreams that never really come to pass, that never really come to the 3D in a way that we see it as what we envisioned before. Oftentimes, when we receive what we manifest, it comes in as the essence of that manifestation, as opposed to an exact copy of whatever it was in our minds. I think there is a way that you can still have this Ten of Cups. I think there is a way that you can still have the happy family that you're wanting or that you're seeking at this time. But I think that this journey might look differently for you than what you imagined it would. The Five of Swords for Libra, please. We have the Hermit, Virgo energy, and we have the Six of Pentacles with the Judgment card at the bottom of the deck. I think there are some ways in which you have maybe disconnected from how much you should be truly loving on yourself. It's the times where we are feeling the most disappointed. It's the times where we're feeling the most hopeless, the times where we're feeling as if we've let everyone down, that we need to be loving on ourselves the most. If there is no one else in your life who will show you love and kindness and care, you can give it to yourself. I would strongly encourage any of you who resonate with this reading to talk to your partner. Talk to your person. Talk to your spouse. Tell them about what you've been going through, how you've been feeling, and everything in between. It's not so that you can get a certain reaction. It's not so that they can validate you. It's not so that they can tell you everything's going to be okay. It's so that they understand where you are and that you can start to melt this kind of wall of ice that has been building up between you and this person. This person wants nothing more than to be there for you, than to show up for you. And they might be a little clumsy about it. They might not know the right things to say. They may not understand how things look from your perspective. So try not to hold that against them, but allow people to show up for you in the ways that they can. This is what I have for you, Libra. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe so I know that you resonated with the reading, and I will be with you next time.